We've driven a few Lamborghini Huracans before and they weren't exactly rubbish, so why then would Lamborghini decide to fly us all the way to the Bahrain Formula 1 circuit to drive another one? Hello, you joined me here in Bahrain. We've managed to find a place windier than Cape Town to film, but that's besides the point. We're here to drive this, the Lamborghini Huracan Evo. Basically, it's a facelifted Huracan where they've kept the bodywork fairly similar and then changed everything underneath. It's faster, 470 kilowatts, 600 Newton meters of torque. It's got torque vectoring now underneath. It's got what Lamborghini calls a Lamborghini brain, which basically controls everything from suspension, engine management, torque vectoring, power distribution, absolutely everything. So we're quite excited to drive this. I'm going to do a couple of laps and see what it's like. I've never been in a press briefing where they've used the word drift and sport as much as they have today. So they say that there's these three modes here, the same as in the Huracan, where you've got Strada, Sport and Corsa. Strada is basically for your road driving, then you've got Sport, which is the super drifty mode, and then Corsa, which is for the track. So we're gonna have a go in Sport to start with to see if there's any real slidiness to this Huracan Evo. Great V10 behind you here. Oh. What a sound, listen to this thing. Okay, we have a hairpin here, let's see what this thing does. So, go down to second gear, turn it in, lay down a bit of rubber. Oh yes. And that's pretty much all you do. You just sort of wind your foot down and it controls the slide for you. So you feel like a hero without needing all the skills required to really get the job done. But it is super fun if you're just out having some fun, man. It feels super controlled as you start the slide as well. It just kind of takes over from you. There's none of this like jittery interaction that you get from a traction control system that's constantly trying to rein you in. It's almost like it flows through the drift. And man, it's a super cool feeling, I've got to say. And now for a walk around of the new Evo, complete with very pretty pictures. The bodywork has been designed to produce much more downforce with less drag. This here is the front, where the air intakes have been increased, providing 16% extra cooling. That allows the engine to be turned up to 470 kilowatts. That's up from 448. Down the side you get a fancy Evo badge that lets people know you haven't bought a Datsun. The rear end has undergone some dramatic changes. The exhausts have been lifted to flank the number plate, which have made room for this huge diffuser that pulls air underneath the car, vacuuming it to the ground and producing 7 times the downforce of the normal Huracan. Inside, it still has one of the best interiors of any supercar. The start button, with its fighter jet red cover, activates both the engine and your inner 7-year-old. It has new dials and huge column-mounted paddle shifters. A new 8-inch touchscreen has been developed specially for Lambo drivers who complained about the previous one being too similar to Audi's and also a bit junk. It now has telemetry that you can match up with 2 onboard cameras that watch your every move and are likely to ruin that falsified insurance claim. The brain inside this car is super intuitive. It maintains 340 systems within the car per second, and it does so really well, sort of predicting the next move of what the car does. So let's have another go at some drifty stuff here quickly. Did a drift! Just allows you to hold this really just enough angle just before it starts to become a problem. Let's move it into Corsa here and do a bit of track time. The whole dash changes up to something white. Now the car starts to come to life, you know. It becomes a much faster tool. From corner to corner, much more direct, it's more planted. It's not trying to perform cool maneuvers anymore, it's just trying to get you through a corner as fast as possible. I still think the steering's maybe a little bit on the light side, but the front end is so sharp, it dives into any corner super duper quickly. Right, a verdict then. The Huracan Evo's name doesn't really do it justice. This is more than just an evolution of the normal Huracan. Beyond the bodywork, it's almost an entirely different car, and one that's both fun to slide around in or attack a track setting lap records. If you want a Huracan, this is the only one you want.
Hey Ash.
Hey Chero.